All right, today we're going to dig into something called Organizational Project Management, or OPM for short. And look, it's a framework that's all about solving one huge, massive problem that can absolutely sink even the most brilliant business strategies out there.
I mean, have you ever wondered about this? You see it all the time, right? A company announces this incredible visionary strategy, and then a year or two later, you look around and nothing's really changed. The results just aren't there. It's so common, it's frustrating. So what is going wrong between that amazing idea and the actual outcome?
Well, it really boils down to a gap, a disconnect between the people making the big plans in the boardroom and the teams on the front lines doing the actual work. When individual teams and departments lose sight of that big picture, you get wasted effort, you get projects going in different directions, and you miss your targets. So the real question is, how do you fix that?
Simple. You build a bridge. And honestly, that's the perfect way to think about organizational project management. It is a systematic framework designed specifically to connect your high-level strategy directly to the day-to-day projects that are supposed to bring it to life.
So what is OPM, really? The most important thing to get is that it's not just one thing. It's all about integration. It's about taking all the different ways you manage work, from these huge portfolios of initiatives down to single projects, and weaving them all together, pointing them in the exact same direction, towards achieving that one strategic goal. Think of OPM as the conductor of an orchestra, sitting right in the middle, making sure everyone plays in harmony. It ensures your everyday business activities and your specific project management methods aren't just operating in their own separate silos. Instead, they're all working together, reinforcing the company's main strategy.
Okay, so we know what OPM is supposed to do, but how does it actually work in practice? Let's break down the mechanics of turning those big, ambitious goals into something you can actually deliver.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. This process is not a straight line from A to B. It's a continuous feedback loop. Your strategy informs the projects you choose to do, which then get delivered and create value. But it doesn't just stop there. The results from those projects are then analyzed and fed right back into the top to help refine and improve the strategy itself. It's a living, breathing system.
Let's simplify that loop into 5 clear stages. First, you formulate the strategy. Then you make those critical decisions about which initiatives to actually invest in. That's your portfolio. Step 3 is the delivery, the actual work. After that, you see the value in your day-to-day operations. And finally, you analyze the impact and adjust your strategy for the next cycle. Simple, powerful, and it never stops.
You can see this whole system is built on a really clear hierarchy. Right at the top, you have the organizational strategy. That dictates what goes into your portfolio. The portfolio is then broken down into programs and individual projects. And the key, the magic here, is that every single project can be traced all the way back up to that top-level strategy. Nothing is random. Everything has a purpose. And you know, it's really important to get the language right here and understand the difference between these 3 levels. A project is just one temporary effort. A program is a group of related projects. And a portfolio, that's the whole collection, managed to hit those big strategic objectives. But here's the biggest difference: how you measure success. For a project, it's simple. Were you on time and on budget? But for a portfolio, success is measured by one thing and one thing only. Did you actually achieve the company's strategic goals?
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's talk about the bottom line. What's the actual payoff here? Why should a company invest all this time and effort to get this right? Let's get into the real-world benefits.
At the end of the day, here's the main promise. OPM is the engine that turns good intentions and smart objectives into actual, measurable business value. It's about making sure all the different moving parts of your organization are pulling hard in the exact same direction. And when you nail that, the benefits are just incredibly wide-ranging. We're talking about everything from gaining a stronger competitive advantage to having way better cost control, and it all stems from this one central idea, linking your strategy directly to your execution.
So what are some of the biggest wins? Well, you get that critical alignment we've been talking about, which naturally leads to increased productivity and a real competitive edge. You also get more predictable results and much faster, more efficient decision-making because everybody is working from the same strategic playbook.
And listen to this, because this is so important. This isn't just some nice-to-have framework for when business is booming. It is a critical tool for resilience. When the economy gets tough, having a disciplined OPM approach is what helps an organization reduce risk, control its costs, and ultimately survive and even thrive. It's a necessity, not a luxury. So let's bring this all home. To really make OPM work, you have to take a hard look at your own organization's DNA, specifically its structure, because that structure can either be a powerful enabler or it can be a massive roadblock.
Just look at these two extremes. On one side, you have a traditional functional structure. This is where power lies with department managers, and project managers often have to beg and borrow for people and resources. But on the other side, in a project-oriented structure, the project manager has clear authority and dedicated resources. I mean, you can just feel how much easier it would be to execute important projects in that second environment.
So the big takeaway here is that your company's structure isn't just a chart you hang on the wall. It defines the flow of power and resources. It literally creates the environment where your most important strategic projects will either succeed or fail. Getting that structure aligned is a critical piece of the puzzle.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. I want you to look at your own organization. Think about the projects that are happening right now, today. Can you draw a clear straight line from each and every one of them all the way back to the company's most important strategic goals? If you can't, well, you've just found the very reason why OPM matters so much.